considered myself to be a very lucky child. My aunt had exposed me to computers and computer software, and I was encouraged to learn DOS and the Windows operating systems. I was also fortunate enough to have a family member that noticed my continued interest, and as I grew up, she would buy me bundles of games, and edutainment titles were always installed on the family computers. One of my favorite games that fell into the realm of learning and entertainment was Gizmos and Gadgets by the Learning Company. Why? Because it's about science. Science! Gizmos and Gadgets is a great little game that features the ambiguously gendered super solver trying to regain control of a science center from the mad with power Morty, the Master of Mischief. Alliteration is boss. The Master of Mischief has infested the Shady Glen Technology Center with... Wait. Shady Glen Technology Center? Shady Glen? That sounds like a retirement home, or a potential living space for drag queens.
Okay, girl.
Morty has taken over the science center with his weird robotic monkeys on wheels, and is, well, he's just kind of there, you know? He doesn't seem very threatening, and he hasn't really made plans for world domination as far as I can tell, but still, he's trespassing, and we need to get him and his cyber chimps out of there by proving that we are better scientists than he is. And how do you prove this? By racing him. Yeah, time to get my NASCAR on. You heard right, you have to beat Morty in 15 different races. Before every level, you're given a blueprint that shows you what parts you're going to need to build the best vehicles you can to win the race. There are 3 buildings within the Science Center, each with 5 levels of races and different vehicles that fall under categories of aircraft, alternative energy, and automotive, aka planes, trains, and automobiles. Once you sign in, you can enter the Science Center and start looking for the parts that are listed on your blueprint. These boxes hold different parts you'll need to build your racing machine. Sometimes they hold really good parts and sometimes not, and you want to find the best parts so you can leave Morty in the dust. The best pieces are really hidden sometimes, so to get them and get through the doors and the other levels, you must solve science puzzles.
Science!
This is really where the edutainment comes into play. For a kid's game that's trying to make science appealing to a child, it does a pretty decent job. The puzzles are supposed to help the player learn about physics, energy, lighting, putting things together. Actually, some of these puzzles and the animations are really weird, and they're always in these weird purple, blue, and green colors. Also in this animation, the kid's teeth turn brown by eating an apple. This isn't teaching me science, this is teaching me to stay away from fruit. I always knew those apples would rot your teeth. Back to cake, pie, and candy, and alcohol. Even though the puzzles do get harder as you win more races and build more advanced machines, they become very redundant and thus become easier because you're doing them over and over again. I'm sad to say that the hardest part about Gizmos and Gadgets is in fact the platforming. And I'll be turning in my gamer card at the end of this review. I'm really not kidding around either. In the beginning of the game, you can choose to play with or without chimps. I chose with chimps because why not? Well, as the levels advance, so do the cyber chimps, and they mean business. They'll follow you around and steal your best parts, then hide the boxes somewhere completely different. It took me a few hours at some points in the later levels just to find my thingamajig. You're supposed to be able to distract them with bananas, which confuses me because I thought robots couldn't eat physical food considering they're machines. Unless they're actual chimps with robotic parts surgically applied to their bodies. Oh my god, they're abominations. I have no sympathy for them. They keep hiding my whatchamacallits, this thing. Although, I do wonder if throwing bananas at my enemies will work outside of video games. This is not a game you can lose, but you can lose the races against Morty if you don't find the best parts that are listed on the blueprint. When you do win, you get a brown trophy of negligible size. One of the things I like the most about the Learning Company games is that they age really well. Despite the game being really monotonous, I played until I got all 15 vehicles. I actually started to become a little bit psychotic about it, really. At one point, I absolutely had to have all 15 vehicles.
Science!
I've actually been playing this game for 15 hours or so just so I can get this screen cap. Yeah, check it out. I won every race and got every single vehicle. This is victory right here, in primary colors. A lot of people ask me if there's a way to complete this game or if you can win. Well, actually there is an ending cutscene if you beat Morty at all 15 races. But before I show you the ending, this is a spoiler alert. Once you beat Morty at the final race, you're given the title of Best Scientist in the entire world. Morty gets all pissy and tries to steal your trophy, but instead penetrates his own blimp with a grappling hook. The blimp goes crazy and crashes, and the impact kills Morty instantaneously. The end. Hey everyone, thanks for watching my video. If you want to see my last Edutainment review, click the annotation, or if you want to lament about the horrible lives of the disfigured cyborg chimps with me, check out my other social venues, Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon. Otherwise, feel free to leave me a comment about your favorite Edutainment titles. See you next time!